It has been over 11 years since we saw the last Elder Scrolls title with Skyrim. With it came innovation to combat, graphics, and so much more. One area they arguably went in the wrong direction with was its cities. And what is up guys, Andrew from the Den Men here, and today I wanted to take a look at what cities in the Elder Scrolls 6 will hopefully look like. Now don't get me wrong, I think there were some real standouts when it came to Skyrim like Markarth or Riften, but as a whole, they were a step down from what we saw in Oblivion. If you are excited, make sure you hit that like button and comment what you want to see from cities in the Elder Scrolls 6. But with that being said, we have a lot to go over, so get comfy, grab that bottle of Blackbriar mead, and let's get right into the video. Starting off, I would like to see the cities in the Elder Scrolls 6 be larger and more in depth. The cities in Skyrim felt more like villages and not a lot was going on within them. If you look at a city like the Imperial City and then compare it to Whiterun, no doubt will people say that the Imperial City was larger and more in depth by far. When it comes to the Elder Scrolls 6, if Bethesda gives us these larger cities, I can see it being a step up already from Skyrim with them having the same copy and paste villages scattered throughout the map. Not only does the size of a city need to be larger, but inside the city I don't want it to feel like it is dead. It should be bustling with people and stores to liven it up even more. I want to see a large marketplace where people are trading and conversation is happening everywhere. I want to see shady people in the alleyways menacing as they are and up to no good. They should have kids playing within the streets and their mothers calling them home for dinner. The guards should be varied with looks and the resolution to defend the city. Maybe one guard is on watch and defends the crown with great passion, and another falls asleep on duty all the time and is known as the Fool of the Guard. He would be easy to sneak by and can be bribed to look the other way. If there is a thieves guild in the game, these types of guards could be used to get closer to your goal and help you out. The level of immersion that this will bring is something that we haven't seen in Elder Scrolls games up to this point. It would no doubt be something that fans would enjoy. On top of that though, we should be able to notice the difference between day and nighttime because it will change the city greatly with thieves and no good people being out at night. An increase in robbing and guard activity will be increased at night as well. The city should be quiet in the late hours of the night and all that lurks are the people planning to do something bad and the ones coming back drunk from the tavern. The difference between what happens within the night and what happens during the day should be noticeable and possibly even starting quests we wouldn't be able to start during different times. I like this idea because it would make coming back to the cities even more enjoyable. Not only that, but the idea that you would be able to start a quest during the night that wouldn't be available to you during the day only adds on to the immersion of the cities themselves. Making the cities feel more lively and immersing you into the world are very important when it comes to how people will react to the towns. Ways that will bring you back into the town and realize that there is more than just what is on the surface should be found throughout the game, and random events you don't see on a normal day should occur as well. The NPCs should be affecting what is happening in the game and be affected by it as well. When you talk to a person, they should feel different with how they act, talk, and what their motive is. Some townsfolk will hate you for what you do in game and others will praise the player. I want each NPC to feel different from one another and not just throwaway characters. Even though we all love Nazim and his Cloud District, he didn't even have his own home to return to, and that is not the only example of a character with wasted potential. I'm not saying give each NPC their own dedicated storyline, all I want is good dialogue options and even for some, a quest to follow it up the more you get to know them. The characters within the city should evolve over time and I have a couple of ideas that they could take it with. If they actually showed the growth of a child to adulthood, then that would give some passage of time, but would be difficult, so I wouldn't expect them to do that. Instead, give each NPC dialogue options and a backstory, whether that be big or small. I think that the player should have to build trust with characters in the game and a quest might get revealed when they trust you fully. This would give a reason to return every once in a while to see what happened with these NPCs and how the player affected them. If they can make the people that inhabit the city better, then the location itself will be much better. Bethesda should nail down plenty of quest opportunities within each city to bring the player deeper into the lore of that city. With quests like the Wolf Queen Awakens from Skyrim brought past events to a head in the game, and they should continue doing that in further Elder Scrolls games. I want it on a larger scale than Skyrim had with Bethesda using show, don't tell to immerse us in these quests. Bring on the quests that will make the culture of the city a lot better because that will make the city more in depth. What can really set the cities from Skyrim to the ones we will be seeing in the Elder Scrolls 6 is if they had holidays or seasonal events that the player could experience. The burning of King Olaf was a festival that they had in Solitude but could only trigger from a quest. They should have more of this but have it triggered by a certain day of the year to show the player the culture of the land they're in. If the Elder Scrolls 6 takes place in Hammerfell, we could have holidays like the Day of Lights and Festival of Blades. It should be a noticeable thing in game and not something that has 1 to 2 extra candles scattered throughout. I'm talking plazas for the holidays to celebrate in and people gathered around compared to every other day. Maybe we could have a quest where we set up the festivities and get enveloped into the culture of that province. You could have it during a certain time period for the game so people can still do it if they aren't able to make it on that specific day. If Bethesda does end up adding holidays, it would be a fun little thing that the player could find and show off the culture of the city. I would like them to add this to the game to keep it fresh and reasons to return. The cities themselves will change with parties happening, the scenery would look different, and people will be very festive, so I hope we see a massive rework to holidays for the Elder Scrolls 6. The last thing I want to talk about is the location and geography of the cities themselves. I want it to feel like the city actually fits into whatever region we will be seeing. I thought Skyrim actually did a good job with this. When we take a look at places like Markarth and Whiterun, it makes sense that we would be seeing a hybrid Dwemer city in the side of a mountain. Same goes for Whiterun with it being in the middle of a vast plains area. I want this to continue going into the Elder Scrolls 6, but let's say we see it within the province of Hammerfell, then it could be a little difficult to get all of the cities feeling unique. A lot of people believe that Hammerfell is heavily involved with the Alakir Desert, and while this is somewhat true, there are a lot of other geographical differences as well. We can see jungles scattered throughout, fertile grasslands along the southeastern border, and a large mountain range with the Dragon Tail Mountains. As you can see, there's a lot of diversity in the location itself, and this will only go deeper into its cities. I want each of them to feel like they should be there and very unique from one another. Even though we will see some cities that are very similar with port, desert-like towns, for the most part I want it to feel like a very different experience for each of the cities. I can really see them taking what they did with the cities in Skyrim and building off of it to make them even more different and unique from one another. This also goes with the smaller towns as well, because those should definitely not be copy and paste again. I think it will be a slam dunk for Bethesda to show that they can revamp cities and make them a lot better. We could see plenty of changes in the next Elder Scrolls, and I am all for that. I want them to show off what they can do and how in depth they can go. Cities in the next game could be one of the best we've ever seen, and if they could make them feel lively, then I expect them to not stop with just cities. We've gotten glimpses into this with their next release of Starfield, with cities in the game looking much more improved. They could make it even better though for the Elder Scrolls 6, and that is exactly what I'm expecting. We would see a lot of depth throughout more features in the Elder Scrolls 6 than just cities, and that is exactly what they should do. But that is all for me now though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment any videos you want to see in the future, and I'll see you all next time.